What is up, guys? About to be sweating Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live unveiling official information. And so, let's get started. Like I said, things are about to get sweaty because the launch of Trials of Osiris is happening tomorrow. We have some very important information that you're going to want to know before you embark on this new activity. But first, Bungie kind of talked about the criticism they've been getting this season, because people have been very critical. Like, when Season of the Worthy started, the front page of the Destiny Reddit was just all negative, and more negative than usual. Sometimes a couple of positive things sneak in there, but it was just really bad. People were very upset with seemingly the lack of content in this season. And I do get where people are coming from. The majority of what you've been doing so far is replaying old activities, except for maybe the one Seraph Tower event just to complete bounties and then click on another screen. So I do understand why people are upset. Bungie has actually acknowledged this in this update and said that we're actually going to spend some time talking about our goals with weapons and content and so on in a future TWAB. And they do say they're gathering all this feedback, they're going to have some internal discussions, and then kind of report back to us. I'm very interested what they have to say, what they are going to change moving forward, if anything, and how they acknowledge things kind of spiraled out of control, and why such a huge portion of the community is very upset by this. But in lighter and more exciting news, of course, like I said, Trials of Osiris returns tomorrow. Here's what you need to know. At a base level, it's 3v3 elimination, so if you've been playing the elimination playlist, that's pretty much what you're going to expect tomorrow. However, there's no matchmaking per se. You will actually need a fire team in order to participate within Trials, and you will need to be at least 960 power to go into Trials. Additionally, something important for the veterans out there, if you remember boons from Destiny 1, those are going away. And essentially boons you would buy them with Trials coins, and they would give you, one free win, for example. They would forgive one loss. But with the new Trials, there's actually going to be different Trials passages. So the Trials passage is essentially the ticket you need to get your hands on, and it lets you play Trials until you accumulate 3 losses. Now, if you go flawless, 7 wins, no losses, you get to go to the lighthouse. And we had our first look at the new lighthouse within a trailer released today, as you can see in the background. So you can get some exclusive loot if you make it there. But normally, this passage was just a passage, but as I said, there's actually going to be different passages, so you're going to have multiple to choose from, and each different one will provide a boon-like bonus. Bungie actually says that one example is a passage that forgives 1 loss per run, or another passage that grants bonus experience from wins that increases the number of wins on a ticket. So make sure you and your fire team discuss which passages you're picking up for that run. Additionally, there still will be Trials tokens. So as you get wins, as you presumably complete Trials bounties, you're going to get tokens, which just like always you can use to level up, in this case, Saint 14 as the faction vendor essentially. But importantly, all of your tokens will disappear at the end of the weekend. So you cannot save tokens this weekend and then spend them all next weekend. You can only spend tokens within that same weekend that you earn them. So that's another very important thing to know. Also, lastly, remember that light is enabled within Trials of Osiris, and for this weekend, and what Bungie has said is this weekend only, your artifact light is also going to be enabled. On every other weekend, it'll just be your gear score. Keep that in mind as well. Now, moving on from there, on the same note of Trials, one of the big concerns is, especially on PC, cheaters. Now, Bungie has actually said that they've updated their security, saying new server-side security features have been deployed specifically for Trials of Osiris, and we hardened our network layer to make it more resilient to network manipulation. We've also increased our staffing to be able to handle the review and banning of cheaters. Fantastic news. other great news is now a new feature has been introduced, and I'll probably butcher the explanation, but in the simplest terms possible, your IP is going to be masked with the use of the Steam servers, and that means you won't be able to get DOSed anymore. You won't be able to get hit offline, which was a huge concern with Trials of Osiris. So that's great news, but specifically on PC. But we're gonna move on from there and talk about tracking. Now remember earlier I said a lot of people were very upset with this season. One of those reasons was because a lot of the emblems that kept track of various things, one of the big ones was in PvP, the gold medal tracker, so people were wanting to know how many WeRans they actually achieved and show that off. Well, that is all gone. Like all that information, all that data, it was kind of wiped from these emblems, and Bungie was saying that was done to essentially make the emblems better and to introduce new tracking features. So, for example, right now, the raid emblems actually have a tracker for your fastest time, for example, and that wasn't available prior to this update. But of course, people were very upset that their, hard-earned stats were essentially deleted, and Bungie has responded to this. So they do say, exactly what I said. Essentially, you have to break some eggs to make an omelet. They did have to roll back some of those things to introduce these newer, better emblems, but they say that, deleting everyone's favorite stats and progress and what they worked hard towards was probably not the best idea. So as a result, in a future update, they're going to go back and actually enable a lot of these emblems to get your lifetime stats. So don't worry, your stats are not lost forever. In fact, here is a list of the things that will be coming back. So like, again, kills as a Sentinel Titan is a good example. People who just main Sentinel all the time were so proud to show that off. That's gone, but those are one of these stats that they're bringing back in a future update. So that is a little bit of good news in otherwise what has made people very, very upset. Now they do say, however, that this isn't a comprehensive list and they're open to hearing what kind of stats people want back. So if you're super, super keen on a stat that got deleted and you want it back, sound off on Twitter, the Reddit, and so on. And guys, that's really it for today's update. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.